Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live for the Sunday afternoon / night flow. I know it's about 10 or 11 in the UK. It's 5:25 here my way. So let's counterpunch. Let's talk about it. I'll let the chat load as I go for a ride. Yeah, serial killing. Go figure. But yeah, man, this has been a tranquil week of boxing. He said it, she said it, he said, she said. This is what it is. I want to talk to you guys mostly about the thumbnail between, a very interesting topic concerning Turki Alalshikh. Okay, Turki Alalshikh is the next big thing in boxing. He revolutionized boxing to a point where people are now taking notice that hasn't been watching boxing in a very long time. I'm not talking about the YouTube boxers, not the Jake Pauls or the Logans and all that stuff, the KSIs. I'm talking about real hardcore boxing. Okay, that's what Turki Alalshikh has brought back to the sport, and he is the new. He represents the new. He represents the freshness, the daring fights that he's putting on, the classic legendary cards. Already, to me, Days of Reckoning is classic. It's classic. It's like, to me, Days of Reckoning was like that thing that set it off. Days of Reckoning, everything about it was top notch. The only thing is, I wish they would have promoted it sooner, and I wish they would have taken more time to get the fighters ready. But besides that, I think it is what it is. Odd fellow, what are your thoughts on Mike Tyson? What do you mean? What happened to Mike Tyson? Did something just happen to him? I love Mike Tyson. Are you referring to the Jake Paul? Mike Schmitz, Papa John's The Day of Reckoning is coming. Yeah, I just wish they would have had more time. But other than that, I mean, you can't complain about that card. That card was lit. You could always, something could always be better. Filip Hrgovic should have had a better fighter, had better conditioning. If he would have fought Zhilei Zhang for the rematch, this probably would have been a totally different tournament. But Zhang has had his time, to shine. Okay, so it's not like we didn't get to see Zhang. It was just on a different card, right? Mike Tyson is the GOAT. I was just wondering if you had opinions about him. Of course, I love him. I love Mike, man. I always love Mike Tyson, bro. I grew up watching Mike Tyson. Okay, so you're looking at a person. Keep in mind, I'm 45. Mike Tyson's 58. So that's like a big brother-like deal. You know what I mean? Like, so he's like, what, 13 years older than me? 13 years older than me is me by 13 years. So he was young and he was knocking people out, and he was the youngest heavyweight ever. So when he was in his early 20s, I was what, 10 or 11, right? So yeah, I love Mike, bro. Mike, I was there when Mike went through all that, because I was going from middle school into high school when, especially when he got convicted. So when he got convicted, matter of fact, I was still in middle school, but I was the youngest of all my siblings. So I heard all those things. So, I wasn't the oldest and everybody was behind me, so they had to see what I saw. No, I saw what they saw because they were older. Like, my sisters, my brothers, they were older than me. I'm the youngest of the family. So I was around with all that. Okay. Jay Roos in the building. K Dizzle, I'll catch you tomorrow, bro. We're going to live. Juntos. Mañana. Mama Lou in the building. Counterpunch to you. Vaughn, I hear you do great impressions. Can you do Freddie Roach real quick? I'm not doing Freddie Roach, bro. Nah. I could do Freddie. I'm not doing Freddie, bro. That's very disrespectful. Javid, Bataril, TikTok in America band bar, bruh. Yeah. I mean, I really wasn't a TikTok guy anyway. I had a few things on TikTok, but honestly, I owe TikTok a big kick in the ass. Odd fellow, I'm down south. I'm in the States down south. You know, so yeah, you see the sun and all that. Well, tomorrow it's supposed to freeze over, and we're supposed to have a lot of ice and a lot of snow. So it doesn't happen every year, but it does happen eventually down south. Okay, so no, but no, Freddie Roach. Nah, man, I can't do that. Do a Manny Pacquiao. You know, how about a Manny Pacquiao? That's who, you know, really pretty much rejuvenated Freddie Roach. And now Freddie Roach is training Devin Haney. So I'm interested to see what Freddie Roach is doing with Devin Haney right now. You know? TikTok is on the back of old lady. Been on it for 2 hours. Well, here's his bag. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, the shorts, I think TikTok ruined a lot of people's attention spans. You know what I mean? Like, TikTok had people watching videos and doing all that shit. I mean, it's just like, listen, you know, for the people that made the money on TikTok, more power to them. But the problem is YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, they tried to compete with TikTok because, you know, TikTok was the next best thing, and TikTok wasn't willing to sell to guys like Facebook. See, Instagram sold to Facebook. WhatsApp sold to Facebook. You know, Facebook just bought them out. Like, you can't beat them, join them. Just like Google bought out YouTube. You can't beat them, join them. You know, or buy them, rather. No, you know, not join them, but buy them. That's more of a dominant thing, you know, we're talking about over here. But no, I mean, TikTok got people's attention span like extra short, and people stop watching videos like that. So a lot of times you're like, okay, well, what happened to all the videos? Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened to all the videos. What happened to all the videos was people start watching shorts because YouTube started making shorts. They started making shorts trying to compete with TikTok. When they did that, people started just doing shorts, which people's attention span, younger people's attention spans are already short. So if you can't tell me what you need to tell me in 60 seconds, it doesn't need to be said. Bullshit. It takes more than 60 seconds to tell a story. You know, and I'm an illustrator. I'm not a guy that like, hey, how you doing? Okay, bye. No, I mean, it takes me at least 4 to 5 minutes. Most of my videos are 4 to 6 minutes, you know, respectfully, you know, to get across what it is. You know what I mean? And because of TikTok, people, you got to do it in a short amount of time. Hold on a second. I hate TikTok. Never bothered with it. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was normal. It targeted a certain audience from probably anywhere from 10 to 35, 10 to 35 ish, you know, and TikTok was just, you know, but yeah, you know, you can make videos and, you know, and it's just almost like, and I just didn't see the value in it, honestly. I thought it was for kids, just like Snapchat, just like all that other stuff, because, you know, I have kids. So, you know what I mean? You're seeing your kids do that. You know, you don't normally do what your kids do. I mean, it's a good idea to see what they do, but like to join that genre of the things that they're really into like that, nah, it's not really realistic. I'm addicted to TikTok and I don't have it for one night. I can't sleep at all. Yeah, Javid, I can see it's bothering you. I could care less. That's why we have YouTube. That's why we have Facebook, Instagram. You know what I mean? It's not be all and end all. And again, if it never was around, I would be still doing 1 million views a month or 1.5 million views a month. You know what I mean? Skrilla 50 in the building. Counterpunch to you, or brother. What's up? Counterpunch to you. And I don't like doing shorts. I don't. It's just like, nah, I just don't like doing them. I do them here, maybe 2 or 3 a month. Maybe. You guys know my shorts. You look at them. I don't do a lot of them. Crawford is surely going to get effed up by Canelo at 168. Bud's crazy. Mike Adams. Those crazy guys. Here's the thing. Let's look at it this way. Bud and Canelo. You know that fight, if Bud loses, but it's a hell of a fight, like Hagler, Hearns, if it's something like that, you know what I mean? Would you be disappointed if Bud came out there and he didn't do a Jermell Charlo and he didn't go out there and just try to box around and move and avoid conflict or avoid exchanges and not take risks and not make it exciting so you're not entertained? Would you want something like that, or would you want someone like Bud Crawford being Bud Crawford? Because see, Bud Crawford gets pissed off. He does more than like an Edislandi Lara, because Lara will box you because he's better boxer than anything. He's better boxer than Canelo. So he boxed Canelo and people hated it because they're like, oh, you're running. No, he's just boxing Canelo because he knows he's a better boxer than Canelo. You know what I'm saying? That's why he did that. He wasn't fighting Canelo's fight. Well, how about Terrence Crawford? He has that, then more. You can't box. Okay. But he has that and more. And he's like, all right, cool. So if Canelo does something to Terrence, Bud is going to get him back instinctively. Okay. Instincts is a mother. DJ Anton in the building. Counterpunch to you, brother. No virtual program as good as TikTok. Okay. I hope Bud can do it. Seems like a retirement fight. I hope he gets the ultimate bag. Well, I don't think he's just doing it, Mason. I think he thinks he can beat Canelo, and that's the point. Hearn thought he could whoop Hagler. He thought he could whoop Hagler. It wasn't the fact that I'm just doing it for the money and I'm going up in weight. No, he thought he could whoop Hagler. He thought that he could beat Hagler, you know? And do you think it should be a rematch clause of Canelo Crawford? I think that would be up to Canelo. You know, I think that's a Canelo question. But it depends on the fight. I think the rematch shouldn't be in the contract. I think the rematch should be contingent on how that fight is. Here's the problem. What if Crawford actually gives Canelo problems like Lara did? What if that happens? I mean, what if that really happens? If he gives him problems like Canelo did, you know, will Canelo want a rematch? Because understand, you look, southpaws are not Canelo's best. You know, Lara showed you that. Fighting guys like that, difficult fighters, avoided fighters, gifted fighters, skilled fighters. You know, that Hagler-Hearns round is the best round in the history of boxing. Mike Adams, you see what I'm saying? What if they had a fight like that and Crawford just started opening up because he got pissed off because Canelo hit him with something that either hurt him? And one thing about Crawford, he gets hurt, Crawford gets mad, and then Crawford starts to retaliate. Yeah, will he get, is there a chance he could get knocked out by Canelo? Hell yeah, it is. It's Canelo. Canelo will get you. Look what he did to big ass Belonga. Think about it. Belonga's a big boned young guy, and he dropped his ass. Bow! Dropped his ass with one shot. Did it knock him out? No, but he dropped him. He had the power to put that boy on his back. So you think he can't do that to Canelo? I'm not unrealistic now. I'm not that kind of dude. I'm just saying that Crawford would probably get hit. And I think Crawford has a better chin than guys like Amir Khan. And even Amir Khan, another fighter that moved up in weight to fight Canelo, right? Gave Canelo some issues for a few rounds at least, because 6th round, his ass was out. Because Canelo fainted, and the next thing, boom! Over with. That boy was out, and he felt bad because he knew he was going to knock out Khan. He knew the minute I connect with Khan ass is going south of the canvas to the flow. Bivol was so skilled in school Canelo, but Bivol's bigger than Canelo. Bivol's 6'1", and hell, he was at least 175 pounds or 180. You know what I mean? Bro, he's fighting a light heavy / he was fighting a light heavyweight. That's a different, and yes, and Bivol is very skilled. Very skilled. You know, but what we seen in the Canelo fight versus Bivol fight, we saw this. We saw what could happen if Canelo fights someone that's a busy bee, like a Pacquiao. Because, you know, remember when they were trying to put a fight together between Pacquiao and Canelo, and it was just kind of like, no way. because by the time Canelo started going up in weight, it was like, where the hell are they going to fight at? Because by that time, I think Canelo was already at 160. And then, you know, you still had Pacquiao doing his thing at 147 at past his prime, but still whooping undefeated guys. So they were trying to make that fight happen between Pacquiao and Canelo. Well, the problem was Canelo wasn't going back down, and it was hard enough for Pacquiao to stay at 147 at the weight class he was at. So that was really nowhere to go, you know. Bud has 8 months to get used to extra weight. I wish it were May and not September. Well, I mean, I'm thinking, yeah, Canelo's fighting, so we'll see Canelo fight. You know, we have to have, listen, let me tell you something. We have to have something to look up to, you know, to get up for, you know. Turn to Jesus. He is the truth to heaven. Amen. Still outcast. Counterpunch to you. Topentine, but still Bivol was faster, which was awkward. Canelo should be the one that's faster. Not really. I mean, you got someone that's an anomaly like Bivol. Okay, Bivol is a very skilled fighter. He's like one of the best fighters in the world. So no, who says it's a rule of thumb he's supposed to be slower because he's bigger? Okay, let's see. Yeah, but nobody says that's a given rule that because Bivol's bigger, he's supposed to be slower. No, it's just Canelo is just Canelo. You know, I mean, he's just you're like you're just who you are. Bivol's quick, he's fast, and that just shows and that's what makes him stick out. You know, Canelo would be better off fighting someone like Beterbiev, and it would have been a good fight because Canelo ain't going nowhere, and neither is Beterbiev. I would like to see Beterbiev versus Canelo Alvarez. We know Canelo got a chin. You know what I mean? I would like to see what happens when he gets cracked by 4 or 5 hard Bivol shots. Because Bivol's one of those guys. He just breaks you down with these hard, solid shots. But who did that? Golovkin. Golovkin was also like that. So, you know, it just lets you, it just questions how much can a fighter take. And if Canelo can fight someone like Beterbiev, bro, that would be big. See, if he beats Bivol again, let's say he stops Bivol, which I'm not saying that'll happen. It would be cool if it did, because it would be something definite. It wouldn't, you know, it would be this contentious, like, oh, I think Bivol won, or I think Beterbiev. No. If someone gets dropped, if someone gets stopped, I would like that idea. I would like the idea of something definite happened to let you know who's a clear winner. Not, oh man, I think this, you know, because shit, they could fight 10 times and you'll think the same shit. No, I'll get these 4 fights. I don't know, one's a draw, and then I think the other 5 goes to, you know, that type of thing. You know, so like, I would want something definite to happen. However, if it does happen, if Beterbiev can drop or stop Bivol, I would like to see a Canelo go back up, because now he doesn't have a Bivol problem. His Bivol problem has been solved by another opponent, which is Beterbiev, which I think, because of the style, I think it would be a better fight for Canelo. Not this person, you know what I mean? Like Bivol, because Bivol don't give you time to react. Canelo couldn't set up those traps like he's normally doing, you know, you know what I mean? These counters, these traps, these counter punches that he sets up. He didn't have time for that shit, because Bivol was putting work in constantly. He was bit, and it's kind of hard unless you can you got to get the hell out of the way, because all those are bees, you know. But it's going to be beat the brakes off Canelo. Cleveland Grant, counterpunch to you. What is your opinion on David Haye? Were you a fan of his style? Did you rate him? Mike Adams, I was a fan of David Haye. See, David Haye was one of those guys that if he was almost the man, David Haye was almost a man. He had the personality. You know what I mean? He was cocky. You know what I mean? He was in shape. He was the ideal version of what a heavyweight / cruiserweight could be. The face-off between him and Vladimir was hilarious, bro. I love David Haye. David Haye, bro, when he was fighting, what he told Vladimir Klitschko was hilarious. He said, you know what? You look like a fucking dickhead. He told Vladimir that, man, and I was rolling. And I'll tell you guys something, man. He just didn't deliver. I mean, he couldn't deliver because it's just Vlad was just too big. Vlad had the distance. Vlad had the reach. Vlad wouldn't let him get inside. That jab and grab shit gave him fits, and he didn't want to take any more chances, because what happens with someone like Vladimir, if you try to keep taking chances with Vlad, he's going to pretty soon catch you on the end of one of those shots that he already has established the distance between himself and you. So he's taller, rangier, his reach is longer. He's going to catch you with one of them damn steel hammers. You think they call him steel hammers because he can't punch? No, he's going to lay you out. If you keep trying to take shots and you know, take chances because you get desperate, because you're tired of getting jabbed, you're tired of getting grabbed, you're tired of getting clinched, you know what I mean? You're tired of him keeping you back. He's not trying to fight the way you want him to fight, obviously. So yes, you're going to eventually get upset. You're going to get anxious. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to try to take chances, and then your ass is going to get chinned. And that is what they say is that. Hang on, guys. Okay, guys. You know what? I'm going to put this here. Well, you know what? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. All right. But, yo, David Haye, yeah, I was a David Haye fan. Yo, definitely. Definitely a David Haye fan. Canelo said vegetarian diet was the cause. Have you played the new boxing game Undisputed yet? Bro, I have not. I'm waiting to get the PlayStation 5. I was going to get it for this Christmas. I was supposed to have got it for last Christmas, but, you know, somebody didn't buy it for me, and, you know, it is what it is. So I got to get it myself, you know, because you have God of War, The Last of Us, Undisputed. They got a new boxing game. I think EA is coming out with a new one, bro. So Champions is still my jump, bro. Champions. I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day about how good that game still is. So, you know, so I think it is what it is. Let's see. Beterbiev would hurt Canelo badly. Yeah, you know, you would think that. Yeah, I mean, because like it would be a good fight, because again, it's a guy like Beterbiev, you know. I would love to see it though, because it produces a different type of fight. That fight's different. It's a different fight than Bivol. Bivol, you got to worry about footwork. You got to worry about all that damn speed. Not saying Beterbiev is slow, but he's not a Bivol. He's not a Bivol. Black Warrior Spirit, salute. Daps, blessing, Mr. Kurt, Counterpunch. Appreciate you, Black Warrior Spirit in the building. Beterbiev would spark Canelo out. Canelo wouldn't want Beterbiev smoke. Well, you know what? More realistically, like, we're talking about Canelo. How about Beterbiev versus Benavidez? Because see, Turkey ain't playing no games. See, that Al Haymon, you know, speaking of Al, because that's, you know, that's who I'm going to get to here. You know, might as well start talking about Al Haymon. Al Haymon, you know, had a lot of fights for his fighters that they were paid well. So the fighters loved Al Haymon. That's why you didn't really want the fighters. You didn't really want the fighters to. You didn't really want the fighters. The fighters didn't really want to leave Al Haymon because Al Haymon paid them good to fight guys that weren't threats. That was the thing. you know. But what they didn't understand was he was making the customer pay for these fights where the fights weren't worth the money that they were charging. So if you got a person like Al Haymon, okay, paying these fighters 5 million, 10 million, paying these guys this amount of money, where in actuality that fight or the fight person shouldn't be that high for the fighters, we got a problem. They should be paid 2 million, 4 million, not 10 million, you know. But then people got sick of it because the prices dropped. People got tired of paying for fights like that, so they started stealing it. It's only so many parties that you can go to. There's only so many times that you're going to get tired of looking at your bill, your cable bill, and wonder, what the hell is this $100 for? Come to find out it was for that damn fight that sucked, that you paid for, that you were overpaid for, overcharged for, rather. No, bro, people got tired of that shit. But you ask the fighter, you know, the fighters were good for a long time. You got to think about it. Most of those fighters came from Golden Boy. Those fighters came from Golden Boy Promotions when Oscar De La Hoya had a big relapse, you know, and he had to go away for a while to get himself cleaned up. And when he came back, Richard Schaefer had pretty much taken all of his damn fighters to Al Haymon Premier Boxing Champions. That's the story in short. Okay. Canelo, I think it was not the Daily Mail, but I forget what he was on, but Canelo broke that down. You know, it was a very good interview, and he broke that down simply, you know, and, you know, told people what happened. And he was like, dude, I was the only one that stayed with Oscar's, you know, and hit Oscar with all this stuff was going on, you know. But those fighters with Al Haymon, and that's when Al Haymon got a lot of hate. And then I was like, well, why are people hating on Al Haymon? What did Al Haymon do to these guys? Well, he took their fighters. He paid them more. Errol Spence, Charlos, Danny Garcia, Deontay Wilder, those guys were all Golden Boy fighters. And that was the rise of Al Haymon. But every rise has a fall. Now it's the fall of the PBC. They're going out of commission. Golden Boy was the same. They had their rise, they had their fall. Their rise is when they had damn near everybody. Then they lost everybody. But then they had Canelo. They rose. Then they fell because they lost Canelo. They're still in the game, but they're not where they were. They're not the same. Bars. That's what I'm talking about. So when you got Al Haymon, and then people talk about Al Haymon, and I'm like, well, man, he's done. Listen, everyone has its day and its time. Look at Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn was the man. He had everybody. Bivol, Golovkin, Canelo, Joshua, Usyk, Ortiz. Yes, Luis Ortiz. He had them all. Dave Allen, Dillian White. Come on, he could have signed Tyson Fury. Hell, he last worked with Deontay Wilder last year, which that was a bad idea because Wilder was in there against a live dog like Zhang, but he had his time. Now he's not looking so good, not so much, is he? Is he maintaining? Sure, he's maintaining, but he's not where he was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, not even close. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. When you're talking about these promoters, everyone has an up and everyone has a down. That's just how it's going to work. It's the balance of the universe, bro. David Haye has muscle issues. I mean, I don't know. David Haye lit up the division again. Well, I mean, he did what he had, you know, he knocked out Derek Chisora. You know? I think Vladimir should train AJ. Would give Joshua more confidence. The problem is, if Vladimir trained Anthony Joshua, he would start doing what Vladimir does. I feel it's just like people say that maybe Wilder should be trained by Malik Scott, and Wilder looks like a Malik Scott right now. That might happen to Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua trains with Vladimir Klitschko may be that guy to give him those same bad habits that he has. Because I already see him in AJ. Bro, I see when Dubois started ripping into AJ, it's like he turned into Vladimir Klitschko. Think about it. He started grabbing that loose grab, and it was like this desperate ass clinch that he does, but that clinch keeps you open because you're busy trying to clinch instead of defend. That's how guys are able to beat Vlad once they hurt Vlad, because Vlad has no fight or flight. It's either fight or clinch. His clinch is his flight. So he clams up, he tries to hold on and grab and all that shit. And bro, I'm telling you, that's what I saw. I saw shades of Vladimir Klitschko in Anthony Joshua when Danny Dubois beat him. Let me say that again. I seen shades of Vladimir Klitschko in Anthony Joshua when he was getting beat by Daniel Dubois. That's what I saw. Wait, I see Vladimir in there. So no, I don't think it's a good idea for Vlad to train AJ. Lennox Lewis, sure. But you know, ego is a mother sucker. He should get someone that's aggressive on the inside, like Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis, and you know what? I'm going to say this now. Money-wise, AJ going with Eddie Hearn was a good idea financially. Stylistically, talent, growth, progression in IQ and skill set, it was a bad idea. I'm just going to say it. It was a bad idea. He should have went with Lennox Lewis. Why? Because Lennox Lewis was going to train him. Lennox Lewis was going to promote him. He probably would have been a JD's to AJ like JD's is to Deontay. Dubois versus Vlad, 70-30. That's fair. Alex, that's fair. Yes, he coaches younger kids in Jamaica. He has his own gym in Jamaica. Bill, he has his own gym in Jamaica. A lot of people don't know that. You know, like, he doesn't, okay, Lennox Lewis goes to those fights and he enjoys those fights. Is he training anyone that's on that level now? No. But Lennox Lewis, based on his style, his height, the way he used to fight, I think he would be great for Anthony Joshua. Just like I think Mike Tyson would be great to train someone like Oscar Rivas, based on his style and his makeup and strengths and, you know, overall aesthetic. Yeah, Mike Tyson training Oscar Rivas would be great. I think Lennox Lewis knows what to do in the ring, but I don't think he knows about being a trainer. Frazier Clark got blasted after Lennox Lewis tried to help him. You know, I think here's the thing. Now, we all know, but get this. We all know what happened, but we also know what happened with AJ and Ben. Who trained Wardley? Ben Davison. Who also trained Moses Atoma? Ben Davison. Right? But who got flack? Who got flack for AJ getting knocked out? Ben Davison. So I think it's a pros and cons. You know, Ben Davis is just more of a mainstream trainer that's training guys that we know of right now coming up. But I don't think he did correct AJ enough, but besides keeping his hands up. You know what I mean? Because it's like blaming Lennox for something that Frazier Clark should have done, I think is wrong. But I think Ben also had a good game plan for Frazier Clark. You know what I mean? Because he's already, for one, we've already saw the fight. We saw what happened. We saw things that happened. We saw the habits. And Ben Davison immobilized it, and it worked perfectly. You know, because Frazier kept his hands out, which Lennox Lewis did tell him to do. So you got a point there, Jay Roos. You know, you got a point there. Because he was able, because he knew that left, and Lennox Lewis is known for that. Having that left at a certain point, you know, and then countering over that jab. And that's exactly what happened. Boom, it was over with. Broken jaw. Popped out of socket. Wired jaw. End of story for a long time. AJ hands down was on. AJ hands down was on AJ. Okay, Kurt, we all know the best fighters make the worst trainers. Is Roy Jones Jr. a bad trainer? What about Pernell Whitaker? I remember when Pernell Whitaker was training Zab Judah. Remember that? And that was frustrating. It's almost like being a very smart person trying to be a teacher too. So it makes sense because you just assume people are supposed to know versus what they don't know. So you're right about that. You're right. You're right. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Counterpunch. Good counterpunch is in the building. He's not good, Kurt. Okay, Roy's not a good trainer. Not true. Black Mamba Roger Mayweather was a great trainer. Yeah, and he was a good fighter too. You know, what about Julio Cesar Chavez? What about Julio Cesar Chavez? Julio Cesar Chavez, you know, was you know, I mean, you remember when he was there with his son, bro? He was so pissed off at his son when Sergio Martinez was giving his son the business, giving his son a straight boxing lesson. Lewis tried to help David Price too. Okay. Hey man, you know, hey, those are receipts. You know, you can only go off of what these guys were able to do. You know, honestly. So, no, good counterpunch. Because you're absolutely right. These guys go in. They're very smart, you know. I had a teacher called Mr. Wyatt. Mr. Wyatt taught consumer math in high school. Mr. Wyatt was very, very smart. However, that didn't make him a good teacher. His teaching sucked because he assumed you knew things that you would have to normally, naturally teach someone that don't know. So I do understand what you mean. The ideology of someone that's smart doesn't equate him being a good teacher. A good teacher is someone that had problems or the same problems you had moving forward, and then they can work through it because they're familiar with the problems that you have. You see what I mean? So I get it. Versus someone that's smart, I ain't got them problems. So you got to do this, do that. You know you got to do this, right? Okay, so you do this like, no, I don't know. I don't know. So you have to tell me. You have to help me. So yeah, I do understand that wholeheartedly and by experience. Because people just think you know this based on their God-given talent or just overall better IQ than you. Some people are just better than other people. So I get it. But then the Vlad/Joshua comparison is good because Joshua does exactly what these fighters do or what someone trains them to do. Word for word, crossing T's and dotting I's. He does it to the T. You can tell. So Ben Davison not correcting AJ was a problem because maybe he assumed AJ was already good, and that's not good. Okay, because AJ's just doing what you tell him to do. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that type of ring IQ to absorb and do or use what he already knew versus, you know, discard anything, you know, or use something old, you know, and then still use something new. I don't think he has that ability. He's not a Tyson Fury. He's not. Manuel Stewart used to cause his fighters out. They couldn't follow his instructions. Well, yeah, man. He used to dig in Vladimir Klitschko's culo, very much so. You know what I mean? But he would lose it. He like, yo, bro, you need to get it together, man. Stop all this doing this, and man, you're talking a bunch of bullshit, man. Get in there and throw the punch. Yeah, he would get him in there, bro. He would definitely get him in there. But yeah, but Turki Alalshikh, people, wrapping up this live because I'm going to go into a bad area. But wrapping this up, Turki Alalshikh is new. Al Heyman is old. Al Heyman was once the guy that was the new upcoming guy with the $1 billion budget and all that, PBC, Fox, Showtime. You know, he had all that. Now it's over. Now it's Turki Alalshikh. Hey, in with the new, out with the old. No disrespect to Al Heyman. It's just Al Heyman. He had the highest paid fighter that he oversaw for a long time. He's made his mark, just like Don King. Think about Don King for a minute. Let's throw color out of the window. Think of Don King. Don King got the he has the American, the American Achievement Award or something, the Lifetime Achievement Award, right? But what is he doing lately? Who has he had? Adrian Broner? So no, he hasn't done anything lately. But it's what he's done. His legacy speaks for itself, and so will Al Heyman's. Okay, Al Heyman has made his mark. He had Floyd, Money Mayweather. He had Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather. He had the highest paid fighter in the sport of boxing, and he promoted it, and he made a lot of money off Floyd and vice versa. He's a very smart businessman, and I think every dog has his day, and I think his day has came and went, and it's Turki's time to shine. But you guys, thank you for coming in for this Sunday night chat, Sunday afternoon chat. I will be back tomorrow, given I have Wi-Fi because it's supposed to freeze. Love you guys. Be good. Be blessed. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And everyone has been counterpunched. Peace.